What if I told you that being poor isn't about your job, your background, or even your income, but about the silent habits that drain your wealth every single day? Most people think the secret to financial success is to work harder, earn more, and save what's left. But if that worked, why do so many highly educated professionals, doctors, engineers, executives, still live paycheck to paycheck? Here's the truth. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how you think, how you spend, and most importantly, what you do with what you earn. The poor and middle class have been trained to play the money game the wrong way, by the system, by schools, and even by their own families. Meanwhile, the rich? They don't follow the rules. They write new ones. Today, I'm going to expose 6 daily habits that keep people poor. Habits that feel normal, even responsible, but are quietly sabotaging your future. And more importantly, I'll show you how the rich avoid them, and what you can start doing today to escape the trap. If that sounds like something you're ready for, drop a comment below. I'm done being broke. I'm building wealth from now on. When I see your comment, I'll give it a heart, because saying it is the first step. But living it? That's where the transformation begins. Are you ready to unlearn everything the system taught you about money? Let's begin. Habit number 1. Spending everything you earn. Most people believe the answer to their financial problems is a bigger paycheck. But the truth is, it's not the size of the income. It's the size of the hole it falls into. Every time the salary increases, the expenses follow. A new car, a bigger house, fancier dinners, better clothes. They call it progress. But, in reality, it's just a more expensive version of being broke. This habit is rooted in a scarcity mindset dressed up as success. People think they're moving forward because they can now afford what used to be out of reach, but they're not building wealth. They're upgrading liabilities. That's why, no matter how much they earn, there's never anything left to invest. It all gets consumed by a lifestyle that demands constant feeding. The rich avoid this trap by doing something radically different. They pay themselves first. Before the rent, the bills, the entertainment, they set money aside for investing. They treat their income like a tool, not a reward. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about choosing delayed gratification over temporary pleasure. The wealthy live below their means, not because they're cheap, but because they understand the math of freedom. Spending everything you earn is like eating all your seed corn. It might satisfy you today, but it guarantees you'll be hungry tomorrow. That's why the middle class stays stuck, working harder, earning more, but never getting ahead. The money is moving, but it's not working. If you want to break this habit, start with one question every time you get paid. How much of this can I keep working for me instead of disappearing the moment I spend it? The rich ask that question every day, and it's why they don't just earn money, they multiply it. Habit number 2. Confusing liabilities for assets. One of the most expensive mistakes people make is thinking they're investing when they're really just spending. They buy things that look impressive on the outside, a brand new car, a big house in a nice neighborhood, the latest tech, believing these purchases are assets. But if it doesn't pay you every month, it's not building your wealth. It's draining it. That's the difference the rich understand and most people never learn. A house that you live in may feel like an asset, but if it takes money out of your pocket every month through a mortgage, taxes, repairs, and insurance, it's a liability. Same with cars. They depreciate the moment you drive them off the lot, but people still finance them with pride, mistaking ownership for investment. They confuse comfort with cash flow and status with strategy. The rich look at every dollar through one question. Will this buy me something that pays me back? That's why they put money into income-producing assets, rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, intellectual property, businesses. Things that generate monthly returns. While the poor and middle class collect things that cost them more over time, the rich collect assets that grow and compound. The tragedy is that many people work their entire lives to accumulate liabilities, thinking they're making smart financial moves. They don't see the invisible hand siphoning their income. The loan interest, the maintenance fees, the insurance premiums, it all adds up and keeps them stuck. They're trapped not because they don't make enough, but because they've been sold a lie about what wealth looks like. If you want to escape the financial hamster wheel, you have to unlearn this habit. Owning things isn't the goal. Owning things that pay you is. Until that shift happens, people will keep mistaking financial slavery for financial success. And that confusion is one of the biggest reasons they never break free. Habit number 3. Being afraid to invest. Fear is one of the most powerful forces that keeps people poor. Not fear of failure, but fear of doing something unfamiliar, of stepping into a world they were never taught to navigate. Schools teach you how to work for money, but they don't teach you how to make money work for you, so when it's time to invest, most people freeze. They've been conditioned to believe that investing is gambling, that the stock market is a trap, that real estate is too risky. So instead, they save cash and watch it lose value every year to inflation. The irony is this: the thing they believe is safest, saving, is actually the slowest path to poverty. What feels secure is really just stagnant. While their dollars sit in a bank account earning next to nothing, prices go up, opportunities pass by, and their purchasing power shrinks. Meanwhile, the rich are using money like a soldier, deploying it into assets, letting it earn more while they sleep. They don't invest recklessly. They invest intelligently. The difference? Education. The rich don't fear risk. They study it. They learn how to manage it, how to diversify, how to evaluate opportunity, and then they act. The poor hesitate, waiting for the perfect moment, a mythical point in the future when they'll finally feel ready. But that moment never comes. They wait until they know everything, have more money, or feel more certain. In reality, they just keep waiting, and losing time they'll never get back. You don't need to be rich to start investing. You need to start small, start smart, and start now. Every dollar that isn't invested is a dollar that's shrinking. The longer you wait, the harder the climb becomes. The truth is, fear isn't the problem. Inaction is. The wealthy feel fear too. They just don't let it make decisions for them. That's the difference between watching wealth happen and creating it. Habit number 4. Relying on a single income stream. Most people are taught to chase stability, but what they're really building is fragility. One job, one paycheck, one stream of income that holds up their entire life. It feels safe until it isn't. A single layoff, a medical emergency, or an unexpected market shift can collapse everything. That's not security. That's financial roulette. This habit is a direct result of the employee mindset. Go to school, get a job, work hard, collect a paycheck, rinse and repeat. But the paycheck was never designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to keep you dependent. The moment that check stops, the lifestyle stops. That's the system. The rich understood that early, and they broke the script. Instead of putting all their hope into one stream, they build multiple. Rental properties that pay monthly. Dividend stocks that distribute profits. Online businesses that generate passive sales. Intellectual property that keeps earning long after the work is done. Each stream is like another leg under the table. If one breaks, the table still stands. The poor and middle class often say, "I don't have time to build more income." But the truth is, you don't have time not to, because relying on one stream isn't just risky, it's reckless. And yet, millions do it. Not because they're lazy, but because no one taught them otherwise. You don't need to start with a fortune. You just need to start. A side hustle, a small investment, a skill turned into service. Anything that breaks your dependency on that one job. The goal isn't to quit your job tomorrow, it's to make sure your life doesn't fall apart if it disappears. The rich don't work harder than everyone else. They build systems that work even when they don't, and that's what sets them free. Not the job, not the title, but the streams that keep flowing long after the work is done. Habit number 5. Ignoring financial education. The world is full of hardworking people who will never be wealthy, not because they lack discipline, but because they lack direction. They were taught how to earn a living, not how to build wealth. Schools trained them to follow instructions, memorize facts, pass exams, but never how to manage money, leverage assets, or understand the rules of the financial game. That's why most people work for money their whole lives without ever learning how money actually works. The wealthy play a different game. They read books, study cash flow, attend seminars, and seek out mentors. They know that financial education isn't something you learn once, it's a lifelong process. While the poor scroll through distractions, the rich scroll through income statements. While one group spends their evenings watching shows, the other spends theirs learning about tax strategy, investing, and scalable business models. The difference adds up, not overnight, but over time. Ignoring financial education keeps people trapped in cycles of survival. They earn, spend, save a little, and repeat. They don't understand inflation, so they save money that quietly loses value. They don't understand leverage, so they avoid debt that could have built assets. They don't understand taxes, so they pay more than they should. It's not because they're stupid, it's because no one ever showed them the other side of the equation. The rich aren't smarter, they're simply more informed. They know what a balance sheet says. They understand the language of assets and liabilities. And most importantly, they know how to think like investors, not just workers. Every dollar has a job. Every expense has a consequence. Every opportunity has a cost. If you want to change your financial life, you don't need a raise. You need to raise your financial IQ. Read the books, watch the videos, ask the questions, because no one else is going to teach it to you. Not your school, not your job, and certainly not the system that profits from your ignorance. Financial education is the weapon the rich use to win a game most people don't even know they're playing. Habit number 6. Blaming others instead of taking ownership. The most dangerous habit that keeps people poor isn't financial, it's psychological. It's the habit of blaming. The government, the economy, the job market, their parents, their partner, their past. There's always someone or something to point the finger at, and while that may feel justified, it quietly steals the only thing that can ever create change: power. Blame is comfortable. It lets you stay exactly where you are without guilt. It gives you permission to do nothing, because it's someone else's fault. But here's the truth the rich understand. The moment you blame, you give up control. If your situation is someone else's responsibility, then you're helpless to change it. And helpless people stay stuck. The rich don't waste time on excuses. They don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" They ask, "What can I do about it?" That shift, from victim to owner, is everything. It turns setbacks into lessons, failures into feedback, and obstacles into opportunities. Ownership doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means you recognize that everything is your responsibility. Most people don't want to hear that. It's easier to believe the system is rigged, that the rich got lucky, that success is only for the privileged. But while they stay trapped in resentment, others are quietly building freedom, brick by brick, decision by decision. No one hands the rich a better deck. They just learn to play their cards better. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They act, they learn, they adjust, and because of that, they grow. Every successful person has a story filled with hardship, but the part that changed everything always started with this: they stopped blaming and they started building. If you want to take control of your financial future, the first step isn't more money, it's more ownership. Because you can't change what you won't claim, and you'll never build wealth if you keep handing your power away. Let's recap what we've just uncovered. The 6 habits that keep people poor, and that the rich intentionally avoid, are spending everything you earn, confusing liabilities for assets, being afraid to invest, depending on a single income stream, ignoring financial education, and blaming others instead of taking ownership. These habits are subtle. They look harmless, But over time, they quietly build a life of struggle while convincing you it's normal. But here's the truth. None of these habits are permanent. They're learned, and anything learned can be unlearned. You have the power to change, not by working harder, but by thinking differently. Wealth doesn't come from luck or magic. It comes from strategy, education, and daily choices that compound over time. Now, let me ask you, which of these habits are you going to eliminate starting today? What belief are you willing to give up in exchange for a better future? If this video gave you value, drop a comment below with the phrase, "I'm building wealth, not excuses." I'll be looking for your comment and giving it a heart, because those 5 words could be the start of something huge. And if you're serious about changing your financial life, take the next 3 steps right now. Step 1. Like this video, it helps the algorithm share this message with others who need it. Step 2. Subscribe to the channel. We're building a community of financially empowered thinkers, and you belong here. Step 3. Turn on notifications so you don't miss our next uploads packed with real strategies, mindset shifts, and tools for freedom. And finally, if you want to support this channel, check the description below for how to join our Real Money team or buy us a coffee. It helps us keep bringing this life-changing content to you for free. You are not stuck. You are not behind. You are one decision away from a new direction. Now go build something real.